Hello, everybody. I'm a practicing therapist and I am also a doctoral student of psychology. Today, we're going to go over a topic, and it is about understanding the difference between being wanted versus being valued by somebody, okay? And this is kind of what I feel like is more of the truth about love and commitment. And a lot of people don't know the difference or don't realize there is a difference, which is why they end up being with someone who does want them, but maybe not in a way where it's full on commitment or it's valued to where they like you as a person and they appreciate the depth of who you are. Rather, it's more like they just want you for whatever reason, which could be that they like your personality, they like your looks, they like that you're available, whatever it is, but it's not that they're going to actually invest in you. And this can be very tricky for some people because then what ends up happening is you might want to be valued, but in fact, you're just wanted for the moment. And so I wanted to actually break up the difference between wanted versus valued, and then we'll kind of wrap it up and talk about it, okay? So one of the first ways that I feel when I look at patients, when they really want somebody versus when they value somebody, value tends to lead to commitment, by the way. Wanted is typically they are overly romantic or expressive. So out the gate, they're already very emotional. They're very connected. And the reason why this is more wanted over valued is because if you're out the gate very romantic and expressive, this came before you met this person. So it's not necessarily attached to that person. So you want them for whatever they can give you for that time, right? You don't know them yet. And yet that overly romantic and expressive behavior is coming out, which isn't bad, but it's just part of the difference, okay? The next one might be some form of like inconsistent behavior or inconsistent texting, where it's based on their emotions, right? So they want you, right? But when you want something, it's emotional. So sometimes they don't have that emotion present. And when they do, they're back again, emotional fluctuation, right? The next one is a temporary desire or attraction. It's not to the point where it will lead to full-on commitment. It is based on how they feel and also the attraction that they're having temporarily. Now, what I mean by that is they might be in a space where they're lonely, and so they're attracted to you. They might just think you're beautiful or very attractive or you take care of yourself, but they don't see you as a person fully. I'm not saying you're not a person, of course not. And I'm not saying they're objectifying you, but I'm saying that you are a fantasy in their mind. You're not a full person in their mind. They don't know you enough, and it's not as deep. And they don't let themselves know you. That's a part of it too. You can still be in these situations in a long-term situation, but they don't let themselves know you because you're just an object in their mind. I'm not saying that you're objectifying them. I'm saying psychologically, it's kind of that perspective where they haven't fully put you and assigned you your actual characteristics. You are more what they assign to you. The next one is actually, there's a difference between the motivation between someone who wants you and values you, okay? The motivation for somebody who wants you is they want something from you. I'm not saying they're using you, but they might want attention. They might want physical intimacy. They might want validation. They might want convenience. They might want something that their ex couldn't give them, or their current partner, and they're double dipping and they're cheating or whatever it is. Like, they want you particularly for something that you can give, not who you are, which is pretty much the theme of wanting versus valuing. The next one is the nature of the relationship. It tends to be short term. It can be hot and cold or off and on, but it can also be like long term, but never like fully present, to which it's very surface level. So you guys don't get deeper or closer. It stays in a very shallow place, and they may avoid those emotions further, not because they're avoidant, because usually with avoidance, as the relationship progresses, feelings can still arise. It just might be slower. But this one, I'm saying like they are avoiding it because they don't want that with you. They want you, but not in a way where they value the commitment, okay? The next one is actually the feelings you might feel. You might feel used. You might feel like you're not valued. Like, you might literally feel like you're not valued. You might feel unimportant beyond what you can offer. You might feel like it's only based on their needs and not your needs. Their behavior, which is the next one, is they may reach out mostly when they need something from you or when they want to enjoy your company or whatever, but they're never there for you the other way around. And I think a lot of people think that if you're in a situation like this, it's an avoidant person. No, it doesn't have to be. A lot of avoidant individuals, if you call them and say, hey, I need you to do X, Y, and Z, and it's more of a physical or tangible thing, change my tire, pick me up from the hospital, avoidants can understand that love language, that connection. And so they are fine doing that. They just struggle with other parts of love and intimacy, but that doesn't mean that they don't have any of it. When a person just wants you instead of values you, they never are deep in any emotional connection with you. And so they think of things in a more benefit fashion instead of a connection between two people, okay? The next one is emotional investment. They might not have much emotional investment towards you, pretty much at all. There's no deep care for your feelings. They don't feel hurt if you're sad. They don't feel like that's an incentive to change. They don't hear you out when you're talking. And it's not because they're feeling emotionally flooded or uncomfortable. It's simply because they feel that there's nothing more for this relationship. They don't feel like it's going to give them anything, or they don't really want anything more from it. And so an example of somebody who wants you will be might be somebody who it's very low pressure. It doesn't go forward in that connection. They might be in a relationship, or maybe they're not, but they just don't want anything more. They are very able to express emotionally and romantically at some points, maybe not all the time. They're able to give it to somebody else, though, so it's not an attachment issue necessarily. They give you attention only when they want attention. They give you physical intimacy when they want intimacy. And so it's very transactional to a point where there's no change or progress, right? And that's not a relationship. And so the next section is valued, okay? When somebody values you based on commitment and wanting to change. So this one is the focus is very different, okay? The focus is based on deep respect, care, and genuine appreciation for who you are. They might say you're really smart, or I can appreciate, how you are so insightful. They might say something like, you're such a genuine person. Like, I wish I could give you more, right? And that doesn't mean that they're not going to give you more, but they can reflect on the fact that, okay, I know you're a good person. Like, I'm grateful that I have you. So they see who you are as a person. They see your value, okay? And the next part is motivation, right? The other person cherishes your presence and they want to nurture the relationship. Even if it's slow, even if it's not necessarily there yet, they are still open to adjusting themselves to some extent for you, for your sake, for your feelings, what you would appreciate and what would make both of you guys happy together, okay? The nature of this type of relationship tends to be more long-term, a more meaningful connection, or a more consistent connection, okay? The next one is your feelings, okay? You do feel like there is genuine progress. You feel that way. Underneath all the triggers and the fears and whatever is going on, you do feel that there's progress. You do feel like you're seen. You feel like you are important to this person to some extent. You feel genuinely cared for. The behaviors, they do prioritize you in the best way to their capability at this time. They invest time and energy into you. And they are here both the good and challenging times. This one is probably the most biggest difference between wanted versus valued. Somebody who wants you is only there for the good. They're not there for the challenging. Someone who values you is there for both. Even if they're not able to show up fully, they're still there. The next one is emotional investment. There's mutual respect. There's desire to grow. So the investment is there. It's high. Compared to the other one where it's very, very low or not at all, this one, the emotional investment is higher. And so the summary of all of this is wanted means somebody appreciates what you can give them right now or specific benefit. Whereas someone who values you appreciates you for who you are, right? And they want to build a lasting bond slowly but surely, okay? I hope this video is helpful to somebody. Please like, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.